I have a question. Suppose that a station in Austin had an agreement with a station in San Antonio, and there was a program produced in Austin, and folks in San Antonio wanted to run it on their channels. One option would be we just put it on a tape, we send the tape down to San Antonio, and then they play. Would there be another option that if the same content was already being sent to AT&T, and you already have it on your servers, that very same content could then just be programmed onto the San Antonio channel as per the San Antonio station's request? In other words, would you have like a statewide server that content could be distributed to other access channels around the state?
I guess we could at some point. My understanding so far is that each market, each video hub office is its own entity, at least for now.
Oh, okay.
Maybe at some point that would be an enhancement to this. There could be stations all over the state that would want to get programming from Austin, whether it's legislature or other hearings of state bodies or whatever. So I'm sure we'll be asked, and as much of this is it's going to be internet based, perhaps there's easier ways to retrieve it than traditional technologies, but we just haven't moved past that, although that would be a great question to ask when we get the product development folks here. It's a great idea.
Yeah. I want to kind of follow what he was talking about, which I think is sort of along the lines of build-out requirements, which I think Senate Bill 5 pretty much did away with. There aren't any more build-out requirements. Can you tell me what would be the incentive then for AT&T as a video service company to provide their service throughout an entire metropolitan area?
Well, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say that question, of course, came up in the 2005 session. Was how do you do that? And what the legislature did was they decided to view it in a technology-neutral way. You can use there's different technologies that we and other companies are using to offer video service. So there was an amendment that was put on the bill that was the amendment was carried by Senator Royce West from South Dallas. And what it basically says is if you feel if you as a citizen, a consumer, feels that you're not being offered one of these services because of economic discrimination, then there's a process put in place that allows a person to go to the Public Utility Commission and file a formal complaint. And of course, the PUC has they have an entire division who's dedicated to doing just that. And the thing that kind of made the amendment work, because there was a lot of agreement on that particular amendment. I think that made that agreement work was that the way that it's written and the way that it's included in Senate Bill 5 is actually it's strong. It's a little stronger and it has a little bit stronger teeth than the anti-discrimination language that's in the Federal Cable Act. Under the Federal Cable Act, if you feel like that you've been discriminated against, there's this kind of well, go talk to the city. But not every city has a department or even people who that's what they do. I mean, some cities do, quite a few, but not.
It's local control and local interest. Now you're looking at the state democracy.
Well, it's but it goes to the agency who is set up, who does that for voice telecommunications issues right now. And there is what is it? Public Utility Council, who is sort of the consumer watchdog arm of the agency.
I think the biggest incentive for us is that this is the future for us. I mean, cable provides phone service today. They provide internet access. If we're not super aggressive, which I think we are, we're going to lose customers. And so our self-interest will get us to many, many, many neighborhoods. What we have a problem with is a requirement, a mandate that says some regulatory body would measure the square footage of Austin and say we aren't quite to 61%, so you need to do something here or something there. And the legislature's view is if you put those kinds of requirements on new providers, they just won't come into the market. We have said publicly that we will AT&T Texas will spend $800 million in the next 3 years, the next 2 plus last year, to get this fiber to the node, fiber to the neighborhood technology to something like half our customers within 3 years. $800 million on top of the about $1 billion we invest in the state each year in general telephone network maintenance and improvements. So it is really big to us. We want we want to be where people will buy our services, whatever parts of town, whatever neighborhoods. It's just going to take time to get there, and we really resist the notion of some kind of requirement that would have a regulatory body picking neighborhoods or picking zip codes, setting certain thresholds for coverage. That doesn't have to happen. We will move out post haste, and we are. So we want to cover the neighborhoods.